ആദ്യമായിട്ട് I thought I should congratulate the organizers for initiating this discussion on the 16th Finance Commission of India. I don't have to explain the importance of the 16th Finance Commission. It's going to be a game changer as far as Kerala is concerned. We know the damage that has been done by the 15th Finance Commission as far as Kerala is concerned. And we are all looking forward to the 16th Commission so that there will be some major change in the attitude of the Commission, and there will be favorable set of recommendations coming forth from the Commission. Now, it's very difficult to discuss the probable outcomes of 16th Finance Commission because that is something we are anticipating. We cannot guess what direction the Finance Commission will take. Now, Professor Panagaria is made the chairman of the commission. We know his ideological inclinations. We know about his past writings. So we can make certain general guesses about the approach that the commission is likely to take. Therefore, in fact, no, we will have to discuss the possible outcome or recommendations of the 16th Finance Commission from the point of view of the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission. What were the major recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission which were implemented? What was wrong and right about the 15th Finance Commission recommendations? How we expect the 16th Finance Commission to change the major recommendations. That's what I'm trying to do in a very brief way. I don't want to take a lot of time because here, the audience here, they are all very senior people, senior academicians. And therefore, I don't need to really spend a lot of time explaining basics and all. Maybe I'll touch upon certain basic things, but then that one cannot avoid for the sake of presentation. But there's no point in speaking at length, and we have Professor KNS and Niyati to follow, and then later all of us here are capable of discussing the issues involved. So let us convert this into a dialogue instead of one-sided presentation. I'll just flag off certain very key points. The rest can be brought in by others. We know the context of Finance Commission, why Constitution of India has visualized the role of Finance Commission. In fact, similar institutions are there in other countries with federal structure. When you have a federal structure, you should have some mechanism for distribution of resources, for mobilization of resources as well as for distribution of resources. So Constitution of India also visualizes certain mechanism by which resources are mobilized and distributed across between center and states and across horizontally across among the states. Now, in most of the federal kind of countries, the constitution itself sort of built in a kind of vertical imbalance for the union to survive, for the unity of the country to be sustained. Generally, resource mobilization powers will be tilted in favor of the union government, the central government. And the resource mobilization rights will be much less for the provincial governments. Otherwise, no, the states will have to be approached by the center for resources. Now it's the reverse way, and which is supposed to be the right thing for sustenance of the union. So in the Indian constitution, in the Indian fiscal setup, there is a fundamental imbalance which is known as vertical imbalance. We have been discussing this vertical imbalance in our classes in various forms. That is, in fact, the 15th Finance Commission has done a study where it has clearly comes out with the correct equation. Around 63% of the resources are being mobilized by the union government. And the rest, around 37%, goes to the states, mobilization. But the imbalance, vertical imbalance, comes because the reverse is the nature of distribution of responsibilities, constitutional responsibilities of center and state, the expenditure responsibilities and other powers. That is, around 63% of the expenditure responsibilities are with the state government. But no, they have only around 37% of the resources. Now this imbalance, as I told, this was originally visualized by the makers of the Indian Constitution. They wanted it this way. But no, they know that no, the Indian Constitution had this imbalance. That's why they made this provision for appointment of finance commissions. Every 5 years, finance commission should be appointed. Finance commission will then decide how the central government's tax revenues will be distributed first between center and the states. That is the vertical devolution. Now, I don't have to go into the history of vertical devolution, how from the first finance commission onwards what happened and all. But we know the more recent story because these things are being discussed in the media and all. 14th Finance Commission decided that 42% of all taxes should be devolved to the state governments. And 15th Finance Commission told it should be 41%, only 1% reduction. Now, the point to be noted here is this. There are several points, but one major point that I thought I should flag for discussion. That is, if you take all the taxes of the central government, and from that 42% is considered to be the divisible pool. That pool of resources, 42% of the taxes, that should be distributed among the state. But here, the central government, after the appointment of the Finance Commission, recommendation of the Finance Commission, has been systematically trying to violate the recommendations of the Finance Commission by one major trick. That is, they started imposing cess, which is not included in the divisible pool. Instead of mobilizing resources through regular channels, regular taxes, which is supposed to be divided. In fact, they started giving concessions on corporate tax and other taxes, and divisible pool was very badly affected because of this. And the share of cess which is not to be divided, that kept on increasing from around 10% around 10 years ago to around 30%. Around 30% in the central government's total tax revenue. It's a very smart way of violating or sidestepping the constitutionally appointed Finance Commission. The central government used to do this earlier, but not in this kind of a scale. This is blatant. This is terrible way of bypassing the Finance Commission recommendations. So the divisible pool got reduced because of this interesting operation of the central government. Here again, disinvestment and so many other tools that the central government is used for mobilizing resources. When the public sector companies are sold, proceeds need not be shared. So center has been mobilizing resources through other means which need not be divided. Okay, this is point number one, which can be discussed, and related points, of course, people can raise, because we have people who are very knowledgeable about the fiscal system in the country here attending this seminar. Now, the second point, that is obviously the horizontal devolution. First, it is the division between center and the states, about which I have already mentioned. Now, you have the divisible pool, that is 42% or 41% of the central government's tax proceeds. How that divisible pool resources are now distributed across states. This is a major issue that we cannot ignore, because it's affecting Kerala state in a very big manner, in a substantial way, in a fundamental way. Now, according to the 15th Finance Commission, only 1.952% of the divisible pool need go to the Kerala government. Our share is around less than 2%, around 1.92%. And that's a substantial decline from earlier Finance Commission awards. This involves huge money, because 1 percentage point means so much money. And if you are comparing with the 10th Finance Commission, when our share was nearly 4%, it's only 1.95%. Now, the loss per year is around 18,000 crores for Kerala. That's quite substantial. Now, when we raise this issue, people often ask, Kerala is a progressive state. How can Keralites say that you shouldn't allocate a higher proportion of resources to other states? UP, Bihar and many other states, their share in the divisible pool is increasing, and their share is much above their population share. If we go by population, Kerala should be getting around 2.8%, but we are getting only 1.9%. So the question is, Kerala is developed. We are ahead of other states. Why should you complain? And they should be given more money. Now, if that is the case, even if you compare with the population share, we are suffering a major loss. No, even if you forget about the 10th Finance Commission or earlier Finance Commission, even if you are sticking on to the population share, we are suffering major loss. Now, this is a point on which Kerala as a society, opposition and ruling party and other parties, economists, academicians should be taking a position. Now, my position on this is clear. I want to make it very clear. See, Kerala should be given at least somewhere near the population share. How can you justify this? I am fully in favor of positive discrimination in favor of underdeveloped states. UP should be given more than their population share. Bihar should be given more than their population share. I am for that. But the problem is this. See, if the principle is to have similar level of public services for all the citizens in the country, that's the criteria. In Bihar as well as in Kerala, citizens should be given equal kind of public services. For that, you need to have a progressive allocation where backward states are rewarded more. The issue is this. Kerala is a state which is paying more taxes. When your state is developed, you tend to pay more taxes. Income tax, corporate income tax, other taxes. So Kerala contributes significantly more than its population share to the central government tax kitty. Whereas backward states like Bihar and other states, UP, they contribute much less than their population share because they are relatively underdeveloped and they pay less taxes because they are likely to pay low income tax and lower corporate income tax, etc. So you don't need to give back all that Kerala pays to the central government. Anything that you are paying above the population share can be taken and distributed among other states. But minimum thing is the population head count, that ratio should be maintained. This is the point that I wish to make. People will have different opinion on this. We can discuss those things. But let me also quickly go through one or two points related to this sharing of the central government kitty. Why Kerala is getting a lower share now? Because the Finance Commission had taken certain criteria, and those criteria are not very favorable for Kerala. Area of Kerala state is much less than 2.8. It's a small state in terms of area. Population, if you are taking 71 population, it's okay. We were having a higher share in the Indian population. Now, because of fertility control and all, now our population share is much less compared to the 1971 share. So when you take 2011 census ratios, Kerala will naturally get much less. So area, if you take, Kerala will get a lower share. If you take population of the latest census, we will get a lower share. Then the 15th and 14th Finance Commission had also taken per capita income as a criteria. So Kerala is one of the richest states in India in terms of per capita income. So therefore, if population is taken and the weightage given to population is very high, income is very high. So because of higher per capita income, we are given less compared to low per capita income states. Now, all these criteria are against the interest of Kerala. Now, if you take other criteria also, taken by the 15th Finance Commission, we end up losing substantially. Now, we will have to think about it. We will have to have a case presented before the new Finance Commission on this, on the criteria for horizontal devolution. Kerala will have to discuss. Now there, Kerala will have to take a progressive view whereby backward states are given some consideration. But there is a limit to that, and that shouldn't mean that Kerala can be given lower than the population share. Now one more point and then I will conclude, so that I will leave a lot of issues for discussion. I will not be exhausting all the points that I wanted to present here. That's about the debt that the state government can incur. See, Kerala is supposed to be a high income state. Therefore, whatever tax is collected from here, that is taken out and paid to the backward regions. Okay, that's because of certain criteria the Finance Commission has used. But the Finance Commission has not taken certain other criteria which should be taken into consideration by the 16th Finance Commission. That is one, aging. You take this crowd, you will have an idea of the problem of aging. Including me, we are all senior citizens, and in most of the places you just look around. You go to in a train or anywhere you go, the proportion of senior citizens are quite high. So we are because of our success, the proportion of the aged people is growing. So the pension liabilities for the government is increasing. Social welfare, social security burden of the state government is increasing. You earn a lot of foreign exchange for the state, for the country, and that's because of the NRKs. When they return, they will have to be rehabilitated. Their social security, social welfare will have to be taken care of. None of those issues are taken into consideration. Generally, if I say second generation development problems, Kerala is facing second generation development problems that have come up because of development, which cannot be ignored by a state. If you want to sustain the tempo of development, you will have to address the second generation problems. But unfortunately, the 15th Finance Commission has completely ignored the second generation problems like aging or lifestyle diseases or rehabilitation of NRKs. Now, regarding debt, see, since in the area of taxes, you are discriminated against. And since you recognize that Kerala is a relatively developed state, and for that you are being discriminated. If that is the case, why not Kerala is being given some additional space for borrowing? How can you say that Bihar and other states are having the same capacity to borrow as Kerala? Why no leeway, no free play is given as far as advance is concerned, debt is concerned? Only 3% is given, and there is no space given for any additional thing. That's against it's a kind of one size fit for all kind of states, which is not scientific, which is not progressive, which is in fact very detrimental and anti-development, anti-growth. Now, if you think in terms of the current context, 15th Finance Commission recommendations had really gave a blow to the Kerala government because of the tax losses on account of that. And then to compensate for that, they had given the revenue deficit grant, which is now exhausted. Now you are not getting any revenue deficit grant. And on borrowing side, even the 3% is not allowed in the name of public deposits in the treasury. Your debt, your borrowing capacity is being reduced. Now, like if your PF is deposited in the treasury, to that extent, that is considered as the Kerala government's debt. So if the DA thing, so the backlog of DA, if the government says earlier, government used to really announce DA, but it will not be paid in cash, it will be kept in the treasury as PF deposit. That cannot be allowed now, because all that will be counted as Kerala's debt. Kifbi, pension company, wherever now you incur any kind of debt, that will be counted as Kerala government debt. So there is no fiscal space available. And I am making a very provoking conclusion that if the new finance commission is also following the line and plan of the 15th finance commission, Kerala development model will have to be rethought. You will have to, whether it is Congress or BJP or CPM or left or anything, the fiscal, it's a hard budget constraint. There is no other go. You will be imposed a hard budget constraint so that you will be forced to change your policy. Your policy in the area of the Kerala development, Kerala model of development. Because Kerala model of development, emphasizes lot of things where the government will have to play a very, very important role. And the whole philosophy of this finance commission and the Panagaria will also be of the same type, that is to reduce the role of the state. State should be reduced so that the market will take care of everything. And if the market is to take care of everything, then you are running away from the Kerala model of development which we have been experimenting. I have a lot of other points to add, but it will be unfair because I see many knowledgeable people here, and we should leave time for this.